and the perfect amount of milk.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how are you on this fine Wednesday morning?
Wow, I'm doing great. Happy hump day, Brian. Got your coffee, got my coffee, excited, ready to go. Talk about some sports. They didn't really include the teams that I like, but that's fine, dude. Let's get right into it, Brian.
We will get right into it. But actually, one quick thing. I feel like this is an astute observation on my part, but I feel like typically during the sports sport, you almost never, I would say you're 10 to 15% on coffee, usually nothing.
Yeah, normally
before or after.
Honestly, dude, I've been making my own coffee.
Making your own coffee. Okay, so a little like donut in boycott?
No, honestly, it's just like, obviously it costs more money to go donut in every time, takes some time, they stop there and everything. I just like try to get into like a better routine in the morning, so I just like make my own cups. So I don't have to worry about I can go literally do everything I need to at my apartment, come straight here as opposed to stopping at donut in, whatever.
Right.
But I'm sure, I'm going to mix in a donut. I'm not going to boycott,
And I forgot, you flip-flop with the hot and the cold or no?
Most of the time, always hot.
Okay.
And I'm definitely not going
hot right now?
Yeah. I'm probably not going to be making iced coffee at my address.
Yeah.
So if I need iced coffee, donut in.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you
dude.
go. But no, making it, especially I love that it's just all ready to go in the morning. Just pour the thermostat.
Yeah.
And then it's funny. I've been trying to like just be efficient with time. So Cumberland Farms is like the exit right after the office.
Right.
So I'll just go there first, even though I'm still drinking the coffee from home, just so I can have it, put it in the fridge, ready to go for the show, get everything done in the office before I come here. Done.
Done, dude. Whatchamacallit? Jay has like this electric heater thingy for water.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, literally like 10 seconds, your water's boiling. It's like so sick.
But then
so I have like I make just this one cup.
okay.
So I have like a filter thing and you pour the hot water over the ground and it goes right into this one cup.
But and then it just like it doesn't need time to like brew. It's just like ready to go.
Yeah, dude.
But does it taste like? Because the reason I'm just asking that is because like when I make my homemade cold brew, it's sitting overnight for like 8 hours. Like, and I don't know. I'm just the way you're describing it. It almost sounds like instant coffee, but it's not.
Yeah, I get. I mean, it's as if you were doing like a little pot of coffee, but just one single cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is mixed. It's not watery.
Right.
It does taste good.
It tastes very good. Yeah.
What coffee do you get?
The most recent one, I kind of been trying different ones, but this weekend I bought Dunkin' Vanilla, French vanilla, dude.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've always been a little like, I don't know, with those flavors, because like sometimes it's like too artificial tasting, and then it only tastes good if you add sugar.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you add sugar yourself?
No, I've been doing off sugar almond milk.
Almond milk.
Almond milk, dude. Love that. And it's like a natural sweet, so it's nothing crazy. But I don't know. I feel like I never tried this Dunkin' shit before, but I feel like, and I don't like Dunkin', but I feel like anytime you order, like you're at Dunkin', you order like a vanilla coffee, it's all that syrup shit.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm like, all right, this is like French vanilla grounds. Like, that's cool.
But
try it.
Is there actually sugar though in the grounds?
I have no idea, dude.
Yeah, I always like wonder like how they get there. If it's like, but if I had to guess, it's like artificial flavoring, I would imagine.
It probably is, honestly, dude. So maybe, I don't know. It's okay. It's nothing crazy. The French vanilla over there, donut in, is certainly better. But I'll probably try a different type of coffee next week.
So I have an interesting question for you.
All right,
so let's say in studio here, we have like the best coffee making machine, whatever you want to call it, unlimited access, comes out great. You can have the coffee any way you want. Let's say you got like a full day of work. You're just doing here shows and work. You're not leaving the studio at all. How many cups do you think you would have?
If it's like an espresso machine or something, or crazy, like
you have
cool,
it all. Ice,
have it
hot, the cappuccino, the espresso.
I mean, I'd cut myself off at 3.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I usually
Just
do. And
3,
I
dude.
try to stick to 2. But I just really could just have it all day. Honestly, it just, I look forward to it so much. And like, you know, the people try to say like, oh, like wait till this time to have I can't do that. It's like, I'm excited to have it in the morning. I'm excited to have another one.
And it just feels so good, Brian.
It does.
You have that cup of coffee and you get excited and it tastes good. And then, oh man, maybe you mix in like a donut every so often.
Yeah. I try to stay away from
I know. It's so tough though, dude.
They obviously are good. And I have to, you still, I'm trying to think, have not had Donut Delight?
Never.
Okay. Next time we go bowling in Norwalk, right next door.
Yes, dude.
I'm telling you, because we just got assorted over the weekend. Unbelievable. Like the powdered stick with the jelly in the middle.
I
so
love
fresh.
the jelly, dude.
But sitting out for like in a box, but for 2 days, still fresh. Like that good.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, when I went home, you saw the photo I sent in the group of the pastries that my mom had for when I got home on Sunday. The coffee cake, dude.
Going and going.
Literally
a good coffee cake.
A good coffee cake. And then like she had like an apple turnover thing, like horseshoe thing. Just cut that up, dude. So
yeah.
God,
And it's funny too, for whatever reason, growing up, I wasn't big on like apple pie and stuff. Now,
right. Dude,
turnovers,
house it.
Best, favorite way to have
so
it.
good, dude. Especially honestly, like my dad is big too on Sunday morning. Like he doesn't eat eggs or anything. He has like a cup of coffee with a couple of like pastries Sunday morning. Like that's his breakfast.
Yeah.
And that, like, again, I used to never do that, but then like all of a sudden, dude, like there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like pastry with a cup of coffee.
No, it is. No, Matthew, I was getting excited.
Oh.
What was I going to ask you? Oh, yeah. So now you and Michael, are you guys similar with your coffee intake, or will he take it to the next level?
I say we normally go like 1 for 1, you know,
okay.
like again,
shot
like
for shot.
shot for shot for sure. But it varies too. Sometimes he does like he makes his like tea and stuff like that, so you want to have it. And every so often I'll mix in a green tea. Actually, Candlewood Market. Actually, we were there the other day. Got a
Oh, they're back.
They are back. Oh wait, no, it wasn't Candlewood.
Mocha?
Where the fuck were we?
Wake up.
No, Cafe Atlantic in Milford, right by Stonebridge.
Yep.
Pomegranate green tea, so good, dude.
Really?
I will say, like, and that day I had 2 coffees, and I had like 2 back-to-back coffees, and then Mike was like, "Oh, let's go to a coffee shop," and I'm like, "I'm not gonna have a third cup of coffee. It's ridiculous." But you gotta order something. So you get a nice tea, dude. Calm it down.
It's funny. I'm usually good. There's been times where I'm not, but I'm usually good where I'll have, my first one, let's say in the car around 6:30.
Right.
Second one, now around 10. And then if let's say I'm golfing like in the afternoon, maybe around like 3:34, have another, and I'm fine. And I love it. The cappuccino from Donut Delight. Oh my God, dude. So good.
You ever go? I mean, you go pretty much back to back on your own, and then this one, right?
Well, no, because I have that at 6:30, and then I'm just having this now. So there's a gap there. There's a couple hours in between.
Yeah.
But I will go back to back, and like if me and my dad have a conference where there's just coffee things, I'll have like probably 5, 6.
Oh my God, dude! At Sacred Heart, like they have the faculty room. There's like an espresso machine, there. Dude, literally, like I don't care what time it is.
You're having an espresso.
It could be like 3 minutes before class, and I'm in there. I'm making myself a cup of coffee, and then I'm going down to class.
Yeah,
like I'm not dude.
Yeah, no, so that's sick. That is sick. I'm actually riled too because like I was saying, I'm going to be in North Carolina this weekend with Jennifer Chokery.
Good coffee down there.
So they have an espresso machine, so I'm definitely going to be loading up on that.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. We got a lot to get to, but before we do that, I think we're breaking the internet with our comment section.
Dude,
if you can try to catch up.
All right, let's go. We have a lot by Matthew. Let's go. Matthew Gabriel says, El Hombres. Love coffee. Buffer comes in with the hello sports fans.
Hello, Buffer.
And then now it's going to be ripping coffee comments here. Yeah. Matthew says, it's one of the life's simplest pleasures, I do believe. It really is. That's what it is. Simplicity of it. It's so good. He goes, can't do the syrup and the coffee. Totally beat artificial garbage.
100%.
That's why Donut In is the best, because the flavor coffee is grinded up with the coffee beans. You guys put me onto the French vanilla from Donut In. Never used to get it, dude. It's so good.
So that's all natural flavoring and not sugar from Donut In, or you're that's one of the things.
As far as I know, it's natural.
Natural. That's sick.
It's so dope, dude. And then Matthew says Tony would have 15 espressos, have a heart attack. Buffer comes in with a cut me open and coffee pours out of my veins.
Wow.
Matthew says coffee past 2 or 3 is no bueno, he says.
But I think he's talking. Do you think he's more referring to himself, or do you think he's talking general health?
Probably general health, but is he referring to 2 or 3 p.m. or 2 or 3 cups of coffee?
No, I think he's saying 2 or 3 p.m. But I don't know. For me, I guess I struggle with if he's talking general health.
Right.
How is it bad for you if you just sleep fine? What does it do?
Maybe you're not sleeping as well still anyway. Because there are some people that I know, like in my family, who are like, after, like literally, if they have a cup of coffee after 2, they will not go to bed.
And usually the older demographic, 50 plus, you hear that a lot.
Yeah, yes. And he says, Matthew says, "Oofa," like on a fish. You want to? Can you translate that?
No. Because he's thinking about Donut Delight.
Man, he goes, yes, Donut Delight up the road from NCC. Fear, dude. And then he says, pastry man, Frankie coffee cakes.
Wow.
Is that someone you know? Frankie coffee?
I think I'm just thinking coffee cake right now. It just sounds good.
He says, oh God. Before comes in, my drug is Brooklyn bagel, cream cheese, and coffee. Yeah, that's all right, dude. Bagel cream cheese is good though, but you mix in the coffee. I don't know. I can't have certain things while I'm drinking coffee because the taste is just too.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You're expecting a water taste. Like you're eating something and you're like,
dude, I also I can't have hot food with coffee. I don't know how you feel about that, but like literally like even spicy food or hot temperature wise, like if I'm eating something that's hot,
a weird mix.
And I drink something that's also hot, it's so
because I feel like I'd rather just eat first because then it's like, okay, I'm a little beat from eating. Right. The coffee,
brings you up. Yeah, totally agree there. And then Matthew says that's a European breakfast right there. Pastry and coffee, toe to toe with coffee, he says.
With you and Michael.
Michael and Tony. OAGCT with the fire emojis.
Let's
coffee
go.
hermanos, says Matthew. And he says, do you guys ever do the 90-minute wait after waking up before the coffee?
Hell no.
I don't think I intend to.
You don't intend to, but yeah, I can't. And I've talked about it with him. Yeah, I can't do it.
Which literally you're like, wake up, coffee.
In the car. Like
right.
As soon as I'm driving away.
So we're thinking like you wake up, 30 minutes goes by, you're in the car, coffee.
6:30, yeah. 6:30 coffee. Love it.
That's not bad.
Rick and Dave, dude, hilarious. Boomer and Gio, maybe.
I actually didn't know if there's supposed to be. Is there supposed to be 90 minutes?
No, I guess there's some study, but it's just one of those things that I can't get there because I'm just so tired when I wake up. It's just nice to. You know what
they should do? They should do the study with you. You should be the subject, dude, and see what the results.
You guys are wrong. You guys are wrong.
Matthew says delayed gratification. How are you, dude? Dude, there's still.
I can get the gratification from a Yankee win. I don't need it for my coffee, Matthew. All right. He's gonna like that one.
He says coffee for life. Oh, nice. And then Chris comes in here. OAGCT professor getting amped for class with the espresso. You got it, dude. You know, like it's a performance up there. Matt says, I think so. Barnes. I don't know what he's referring to. I've asked him multiple times. Natural flavor.
Yeah.
2 or 3 o'clock, he says. And then he says, no, in general, PM. Interesting.
Yep.
Before I stop drinking coffee at 4. Matthew, I can screw up your dopamine system if it's past 2 or 3 or too late in the day. Interesting. And then Matthew says, officer, police officer is what he meant, I guess, before. Yep. Bronx Tale, Tony, Frankie coffee cakes. Richard. Ha 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 ha. Holy shit. Ha 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 ha. Oh man, I'm dead. I'm sweating right now from all that, dude.
Yeah, that was very intense. A nice warm up. It's like, we're at the gym, you're doing your, mile of cardio to get going, and then you know what you do? You're hopping right in to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it! Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game! Out of sight!
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes! See ya!
I really did miss hearing that sound. And fortunately, for me, for Matthew, for my entire family, for all of my Yankee family, we all did feel that one time last night, as the Yankees finally get off the schneid here, snapping a 4-game losing streak, defeating the Cleveland Guardians 4-2. And it was just so ironic because I was telling you, Tony, last night at the start of the game, me and Sam were at dinner. And then on my way home, I want to say at that time it was like probably the 3rd inning. And I was talking to Matt on the phone for like almost the whole ride home, like 20, 25 minutes. And we are just talking about the Yankees and just how like, here we go again. They're down. They're never going to score, like cracking up like in delirium about it. How, oh yeah, 2-0. It's over. It's over. It's over. And it was just so ironic that I really felt as I watched, I want to say from probably inning 5 on, the rest of the game. And it really felt like there was a changing of the guard, the ending of the doldrums, and just hopefully some new life here. And I know, you don't celebrate after one victory, but you hope that it is the start of something. So let's talk about how we got there. Garrett Cole was on the mound, and we know all season long he's been completely lights out. Really an early season favorite for the Cy Young. And he did run into a little trouble early. Had 2 clean innings to start the game. And then after allowing Ahmad Rosario on a Josh Naylor double, scored Rosario and also advanced Jose Ramirez to third base. So this is the top of the 3rd. And they had a situation where Jimenez is up. He hits a grounder, but it has side spin. Doesn't allow Rizzo to throw home because if it was a clean, more well-struck ball, he would have went home, probably got the runner out. Instead, the run scores. So, and like we had talked about, cracking up 2 runs. So that's how we did get there. So it was 2-0. Cole settled down for innings 4 and 5, retiring the sides in order. And then what really I feel, started this, and a guy who's been on fire lately. If we go to the split stats, I imagine, over the past 2 weeks, he's got to be hitting in the 300s. Anthony Volpe hits an opposite field home run, 345 to right. You saw the whole bench perk up, smiles on guys' faces. So that was really the turning point there. You love to see it out of Volpe, and he really is following the trajectory that everyone felt. You look at all the minor league levels that he's ever played at, a slow starter, but once he gets going, he does not stop. He was all over the base paths last night. He stole second and third base consecutively. I want to say that was in the 9th inning. So he has now 10 stolen bases, overall going 2 for 4 last night, average up to 230. And like I said, that's been climbing for the last couple of weeks. Anthony Rizzo, also in the 6th inning, did tie the game on a single, scoring Gleyber Torres, and then Cole able to get through the 6th, which I thought was impressive because threw a lot of pitches early. So it seemed like one of those starts. I hope we'll be able to get him through 5. And he ends up going 6, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Season ERA sitting at 1.35. Yankees 7-0 in his starts this season. But the ended up being the difference in this game. And the Yankees did add an insurance run after a Willie Calhoun bullet to right field, an absolute laser, but a line drive. And listen, me, I've been a very heavy critic on Willie Calhoun, but that was a big home run. We talk about body language in the dugout. And it definitely started with the 6th inning, but especially after that, I just noticed like when the guys were going up to the plate, their swings looked different. They looked like there was just energy that was inserted in them, and that scoring those couple runs gave them the confidence that they needed. They had only scored 4 runs in the previous 3 games. So I know 4 is a mediocre number, but for the way things have been going, it seemed pretty good. So Calhoun gets them on the board to make it 3-2. They go to Marinaccio for 2 outs in the 7th inning. And then he gives up I believe it was a hit to Jose Ramirez. No, a walk to Jose Ramirez. So that brings up Josh Naylor. Boone obviously wants to bring in Wandy for the lefty.
Classic.
He ends up getting the out there in the 7th, also gets the first out in the 8th before giving up a hit. And then Michael King comes in, pitches a scoreless rest of the 8th inning. The Yankees add an insurance run, after I had said, Volpe gets a single, steals second and third, DJ singles him in. And it was very refreshing. It was the old DJ LeMahieu. And actually, Tony, I don't know if you saw this, but this season, he's hitting over 400 with runners in scoring position. So obviously still working on the average, 260 right now, but hitting like 425 with runners in scoring position. So that's where DJ LeMahieu has always excelled. And it was nice to see, too. It was a fastball that was up on the corner of the strike zone, maybe even slightly outside the strike zone, but just went opposite field. Right. And that's the classic hit that we saw when the Yankees are scoring a lot of runs. That's what DJ is doing. So that scored Volpe, made it 4-2. And then Michael King able to navigate, through that 9th inning to pick up his second save of the year, was looking so dominant, actually struck out his first 3 batters, of the game, and his ERA 1.56. And it looks like when available, because the Yankees have been doing a lot of multi-inning or over 1 inning appearances with him, but when he is rested and available, it does appear that he's going to be their kind of number 1 option on the bullpen. And I would think Marinaccio's too, and then put Holmes behind them, because we've seen it with Holmes. I mean, you can't rely on him. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And I really believe in the 3 guys who pitched last night, Marinaccio, Peralta, and King. They definitely have done a really good job. Impressive out of Cole, too. I mean, every start he's delivered. The fact that he led the American League in home runs allowed and hasn't allowed one still up to this point in 7 starts is pretty remarkable, because I just feel like every time we're watching a game last year, he's allowing a home run by the 2nd, 3rd inning every single time. Yeah. So not allow a home run. That's how you know his stuff is working. I saw him post game after. You could tell he's pumped up. He's jacked up. Didn't even care that he didn't get the win. He's excited to just get a win for his team.
Oh, yeah.
Set the tone. We talked about that yesterday. That's what he needed to do. And I thought it was impressive that the Yankees were able to battle back. You get down early. A pitcher like BB, who's excelled in the minors, they hadn't seen before, to get him out there before the end of the 6th inning. And then for Willie Calhoun to get a home run off James Karinchak. Thought that was impressive. I guess, especially after last night's outing, his ERA is almost 6, but we do know when he's going, he's one of the better relievers in the game, has high velocity. So I think to rally against him, to get a run off Morgan after, I think that's just signs of life for the offense. And I think this is going to do a big job in terms of upping their confidence, as we move forward here. Harrison Bader also made his return, was able to pick up a hit there late in the game. So nice to have him back. He also made a sliding catch. So I think that's going to pay big dividends for the Yankees, having, Bader back in the lineup. And especially too, if you think about, if everything going according to plan, Judge should be back in, 6-7 days. So, you think about him back with Bader, with Volpe heating up, that definitely gives you some hope. But obviously the whole thing here, it's just one game at a time. They do have the series finale tonight, and it's one of those times where they definitely have a disadvantage in the pitching matchup. You have Shane Bieber going up against Clark Schmidt. Kind of interesting. Bieber, known as a strikeout guy, but this year only 26 strikeouts over 37 2/3,
right?
Giving up 32 hits, 11 walks, which I guess, it's a little high for him. He usually has a better strikeout to walk ratio. So I guess, there's an opportunity there if he's not, kind of completely locked in. But Clark, you really have to hope that he could just give you 5 innings to earned. I really hope he can. I'm not confident that he can. We've seen good stretches, but it's just like we've talked about this so many times where it's just like it's hard to think that he could give you 6 quality innings on a regular basis.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. It certainly doesn't look like that's probable. So
yeah. So it's you need your offense.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll deliver. I do think, love what we see out of Volpe. And I think Bader being back is huge as well. I don't know if, Calhoun hitting a home run will turn into anything. Obviously, he's really struggled other than that. But I do just think getting that monkey off your back, breaking the losing streak, showing that you can battle back after you haven't battled back for 10 straight games, whatever it is. I think confidence-wise, they have to feel night and day compared to how they felt just even 2 days ago from last night's win.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly would think so. And again, you're missing your captain, you're missing your best guy on the team. And I think having Volpe step up is huge. Having a young rookie such as himself going 2 for 4, bringing in a run, leading off the lineup too with that. I mean, I think that instills a lot of confidence. We talked about how that type of play from your leadoff batter could trickle down. Rizzo stepping up too. Again, you would imagine Rizzo's taking a little bit of a role as like the captain of the dugout, in Judge's absence too. So between him and Volpe, I mean, they should have more than enough confidence in their bats tonight. And I think they're very well aware of what Clark Schmidt could put out there. So, they're going to be rallying for sure. And you would expect, even more so of a production. Maybe, DJ cuts down on the strikeouts a little bit. That'd be sweet.
Right. Because he's not usually a strikeout guy, but I think he's just kind of getting his way back. And obviously something he is back if he's hitting over 400 with runners in scoring position. Right. So that is a good sign despite 260 average early on.
Yeah. So you're hopeful, dude, for sure.
And I am so excited. And I know since day one, I mean, since I videoed in from Yankee Stadium on opening day, I've been excited about Anthony Volpe, but I just love the prospect, whether it's a walk, whether it's a bunt single, whether it's a liner in the gap, just him on first base, that we could just blindly send him.
I know. The stolen bases are so sweet.
And we have not had anything close to this. I mean, I think he's going to be perennial 30 easily. I mean, he's already got 10 now. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised this year if he had 40 plus. We just have not had that. So I just think, especially when you're missing guys, you need to generate offense. And when you can have a guy go from first to third on 3 pitches, that's going to be a big catalyst. So I think, we've talked about the small ball. I think that comes into play as well. So definitely some renewed optimism. I love having Bader back. I think he's going to get in an offensive groove. Didn't quite get there on his rehab assignments. So you think about him going, and then you have to feel like one of either Oswald Peraza or Oswaldo Cabrera will end up getting in a groove as well. And I think then you finally have a solid base where you should be able to at least, not that it's anything crazy, but, put up 4 consistently like you did last night and have an ability to battle back and not be done after falling behind 2-0 in the 3rd inning.
Right. Are you at all worried about what Clark Schmidt may be going 3-4 innings, and then you have to rely on your bullpen? You use Marinaccio and King last night.
No, just because I just feel like as terrible as the offense has been, I saw it on the guys' faces. I really did. And I understand, like I said, I know you can't overreact to one win, but I just think there's something about confidence, self-esteem that they did not have. I mean, it had to have been such a negative vibe in that clubhouse. And to get that taste of winning, to get that taste of rallying late, I just saw more aggressive swings, confident swings. So, I think, you can hit them. Plus, Karen Shank went last night. You hit him, so they got to use other guys in the bullpen. Sure, will I not feel great if we have to rally against Class A late in the game? Probably not, even though we have hit him before, but obviously that was at full strength. So with a weakened lineup, we saw him go through us 1, 2, 3. But all I want is 2 runs at least off Bieber. And you would think, hopefully he only goes 6 innings at most. And then just take our chances with the bullpen. And I just, like I said, Clark, just give us 5 and 2. We'll piece together the bullpen scenario, however we have to do it. It is tough though. I hope that Holmes doesn't pitch, but it seems like in a close game, it's almost inevitable that he's going to be pitching.
Yeah, dude.
But maybe you can figure it out. Maybe, there's more confidence pitching in a lower leverage situation.
Is anyone else who can close a game?
Well, I think it's, the when rested, I think it will be King, and I think Marinaccio is the backup. And then also him and Peralta only threw 10 pitches yesterday, so I think they will be available tonight. But yeah, I like Marinaccio out of those guys because Wandy is good, but I just think I like him in a setup role. And it's a shame too. Albert Abreu had been pretty good, but then he just imploded. I think he gave up 6 runs in an inning, like a couple nights ago for
Really,
that 15-2 game.
Oh,
So
he throws gas.
he does throw gas. I mean, it shows you how well he was pitching. So he gave up 6 runs in an inning, and his ERA is still only 5.40. So you think about what it was probably 1 point something before that. So I guess, he'll get another shot. And you hope that he can take advantage of it because we know this stuff is there. It's about consistency. You also have Jimmy Cordero in the bullpen. Ian Hamilton has actually pitched pretty well in addition to him. So you would think the combination of them and, if you need to go to Wandy and Marinaccio, I think they would be available. But I just want to, Hamilton, 172 ERA over, what is it, innings wise? He's at 15 2/3. So that's pretty good, for a guy who was like, I think a non-roster invite to spring training.
Right.
So I think you have other options there. And I just want another 4 or 5 runs tonight. And then I feel really good that we can win. But not only for the players, and I know this sounds like silly, but it's like, even for me last night, like I said, I was just having that conversation with Matt, and it even though it's only been a week of this doldrums or whatever it is, but it really was like, wow, like it just brought me back to feeling good, feeling like, we have a chance and not that, we're a team that's going to lose 100 games, because that's what it felt like the previous 4 games, it really did. But I guess you get this stretch out of the way early, and then you hope you can, really go on a run here coming up, especially as more guys come back. We think Severino should be around the corner, Canely at the end of the month. Rodon is such a wild card. The back they can't get right. I don't know what it is, and it's not even soreness, it's flexibility. The whole thing makes no sense, but of course Cashman would sign somebody that has those type of issues.
That's tough.
It's unbelievable. So I just hope by the All-Star break we can get him back. And I know that the timeline keeps going out and out. You know what I mean? And I hope it doesn't extend anymore. Let me tell you that, Tony. Let me tell you that.
It's funny. I think I recall a conversation you and I had about how many starts Rodon would be getting, and I don't think I was saying he would get many starts.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're hoping for double digits.
Yeah.
Wait, we got a couple more comments here?
Yes, we have quite a few comments here to catch up on. The guys are just flowing in. From the early on, Matthew says, sweating from the coffee. You love your transition from the coffee to the MLB world. But first says, should the Yankees trade for Aroldis Chapman? Matthew answered him for us. No, prefer he wouldn't even want to come here. He is tight. I think it's a terrible idea. He's not going to do much. Prefer requesting to please watch the White Sox. Andrew Benintendi steal a home run from Carlos Correa last night. Funny you asked that, prefer. Because I did actually do some research and did bring it up. So I figured, why not? Let's watch it. No audio, obviously, here. So yeah, Correa.
Copyright.
Deep left field. Benintendi. Nice snag for sure. We put at the wall. Correa is pretty tight.
I'm glad he's tight.
There's Benintendi. I did enjoy Benintendi when he was on the Yankees. Here's the replay here. Jumping up, leaping.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like, wow, impressed about it, but it's a very good catch, good track. I mean, he had plenty of time. He was in the right position, timed the leap really well. You do love to see that from an outfielder for sure. Minnesota Twins uniforms looking pretty nice with the pinstripes, though.
Yeah. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. As always, White Sox look good, too. And then Prefer says, I don't know if this is sarcastic, but he goes, your thoughts on the American League East possibly having all 5 teams make the playoffs? AL East is the hardest division in history.
Well, I think it's just he's trying to be funny because I know Prefer's knowledgeable and he knows that 4 teams make the playoffs, not 5.
Right.
Could make the playoffs from one division. That's what I mean.
And also, is the division really that hard right now?
The Orioles are playing great. They're 20-9.
Rays
know what the Rays are doing. The Blue Jays are playing well as well, Tony. Let me see here. Did they not play? Oh, they did play yesterday. They are I hate when there's 18-12. Yeah. And then obviously we know Yankees are 1 game over 500 now, expected to be good. And the Red Sox, I believe, have the same
record.
Red Sox are 17-14. So yeah, I mean everybody's over 500.
That is actually pretty crazy. Speaking of over 500, Chokery comes in saying, "I have all Nespresso flavors for you, Brian."
Let's go. I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of that. That's for sure.
Now, my mother has an espresso machine. Not to get too much into the coffee again, but I always go for, and I don't even know what it's called because she always makes me a cup. But the pod is like vanilla. It's like a vanilla color with like another vanilla off color swirl around it, and it's obviously a French vanilla coffee. But that is fuego.
Oh, that does sound.
But
good.
I know, and my father goes crazy because obviously the strengths are different colors. I think like purple's like one of the highest.
Right.
My father does like three purples, dude, and it's just like, oh,
I do.
God,
Don't you
dude.
feel like though at this point you're just immune though? I don't know. Like especially
Caffeine
like one
or-
sitting, like put 5 espresso shots in my. I don't do it, but I'm saying I know I could just drink it and I would be fine. I'm not gonna be like,
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it definitely does have an impact on me still, though. It's not like I'm just drinking. It's not like I'm pantomiming coffee.
Right.
You know, like I drink my coffee, I get caffeinated. It does make a difference. You know.
Yeah. So Matthew saying he wants to come to Carolina next time.
Yeah.
And Chokery saying that he's welcome at any time.
Be careful what you wish for, Chokery.
No, he's just kidding. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this weekend. And it's every time too. We always, I think one thing, the 4 of us, me, Sam, Chokery, and Jennifer, we always make sure we go to a great restaurant. And I know there's this place, Daniel's, they've been talking about. I guess it's some Italian restaurant there.
Wow.
So I've been really wanting to try that. So I wouldn't, be surprised if we end up there. But there's so many different places, and I just love it down there because everything is just compared to here is just so much newer.
Right.
You're just when you're talking about restaurants and just plazas, and just the scenery in general, their neighborhood is unbelievable. So
Right.
really looking forward to a good weekend.
That's dope, dude. Speaking of new, did you hear they're making a Chick-fil-A on Post Road in Fairfield?
I did hear that, but I guess he said we already have a reservation for Daniel's.
Let's go,
Is
baby.
Chokery not the best, Tony?
He
Is
is the
Chokery not
best, dude. He's better than you.
I did hear that about Chick-fil-A, but then I heard no drive-through.
Yeah, no drive-through. I think it is a huge mistake, by the way, because
But also, you have to admit, like everybody with the drive-through, everyone's freaking lazy. Dude.
I know.
It's not that big of a deal. And I feel like you would get around for this too. Anytime the drive-through is like backed up, I just
go right in.
Yeah,
2 minutes. I know, and that's why I love having driveways. Because I always go in, dude.
Yeah.
But I just also feel like, I understand maybe they're not having a drive-through to deter people, but that's not going to deter anyone.
No.
People are going to go in. That line's going to be at the door still.
Do you think, though, I guess it's just a combination, but because I know Norwalk, it's always backed up.
Always.
Is it just because we haven't had Chick-fil-A in this area? And there's only one there.
Yes.
But it's like a cult following.
I know,
it's
ridiculous.
unbelievable.
And it really is. And honestly, dude, it's not that great.
But I think, though, Tony, perspective-wise, though, for a fast food thing, it is pretty. It is pretty.
No, yeah,
good.
it's good. It's it's consistent. I haven't had it a bunch, but every time I have it, it is good, and everyone there is very friendly. The people who work there, they're always great customer service. The free refills and the soda, it's dope. It's a great time.
Yeah, and I think too, because I'm always obviously a big, Dutch's guy.
Love Dutch's, dude.
I think Chick-fil-A probably chicken wise probably has them.
Yeah, I don't like. I think I had Dutch's chicken sandwich once, and it was just okay. But how do you not get their burger when you're there?
Oh, right,
Come on,
right.
dude.
And then the chili dog is unbelievable.
Still
too.
never had chili dog.
Starving right now. Starving. Didn't have
Really?
anything yet.
I made some eggs this morning.
Yeah, just eggs, or you did like the egg flip, the photo, the everything bagel.
Everything bagel. Yeah, the sandwich.
Was it posted on egg flips?
No.
Oh, okay. I think has there not? I haven't been on Instagram that much recently, but
little inactivity on that
Okay.
account, yeah, for sure. Obviously downtime comes first, so it's just
right.
When
Jay
you get
though,
the time,
Jay occasionally
dude.
posts or not?
Yeah, Jay, of course, dude,
Yeah,
of course. He's a big proponent of the egg flips, dude.
Yeah. It seems like he's fired up for that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I really just am hoping to take this series tonight and have improve upon this offensive performance. I do think I could see Bader having a big night as well.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely excited for the game later. Now before I know pick wise, I think I only went 1 and 2.
Oh geez.
I have this updated already because I did it before we started. Let's just see. Okay, so you have 31, I have 28. So yeah, you went 2 and 1, I went 1 and 2. So you're back to a 3-point lead here.
Mets didn't play yesterday.
Right. So you went 2 and 0.
2 and 0.
Yes.
Dude.
So
Okay.
you have the first game of the Mets already in. But if you could just start out by talking about that and also the second matchup with the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure for sure. Am I getting an extra pick today to make up?
You're
Right,
getting both. I'm assuming you want both games. Yeah, dude.
No, yeah, I do. It's so fucking funny too because like I feel like I've been talking about Joey Lucchesi starting for the Mets for like 5 days now.
Right.
Honestly, at this rate, we're not even gonna play 100 games, Brian. But anyway, the rain out yesterday, doubleheader today, games 140 and 640, I believe. We know about Joey Lucchesi. We know about Detroit right now. So obviously game 1, knew that, taking the Mets, whatever. Previewed it many times. Let's go on to game 2 here. Max Scherzer on the mound. Okay, finally back from the suspension. He's been, pleasantly waiting.
Did you forgive him?
Yeah, you forgive him, dude. Of course, forgiven, forgotten. Don't worry
optimistic about the rest of the season with Scherzer. Like you're expecting what we saw last year when he wasn't injured, or you're a little hesitant on that?
Yeah, definitely a little hesitant. I mean, it wasn't even the fact that he did get suspended, but even the starts leading up to the suspension. I mean, he didn't look great, Brian.
Right.
So I mean, you're definitely a little skeptical here. But against Detroit, bounce back start. He was definitely upset about the suspension. He's supposed to start, against the Braves this past weekend, get the rain out. I'm sure he's itching to be on the mound. I would expect his fastball. I would literally like to just chuck fastballs, like probably the whole first inning, honestly.
Room for error, large field there, so it's not like you just hit a little pop up, it's gonna go out.
Exactly. So, and I think that given the Detroit's lineup, I mean, as long as he can locate his pitches,
Baez at bay,
please, dude. He really shouldn't have an issue. All in all, I know he hasn't pitched a lot, and some of it's not great, but ERAs are 3.72, 2-1 on the season. Only pitched 19 1/3 innings. So, you'd imagine he comes out here, like I said, focused, dialed in. Our bats have been hot. Again, it kind of sucks because of the lull that's been looming, without the Mets playing baseball. But you would imagine everyone's well rested. People keeping the focus, dialing it in, expecting, our young bucks like Beatty and Alvarez to make a big splash this doubleheader. I forget, Prefer said it yesterday too. But the last time the Mets lost doubleheader was fucking like well over a season ago.
Right. I think it's 20. Did he say 25? And it's been 25 straight, and they've won both of them in 15.
Yeah, something like that.
Or no, 10
or
split 15.
Yeah. So absolutely ridiculous, as Preferred does say. Mad Max complete game no hitter, and then Joey Fuego complete game gem today. He did mention he went 2-1 last night. I would love to see it. I mean, Lucchesi, again, we mentioned, the good stuff he's shown. You're expecting still good stuff out of him. And Max Scherzer, if he gives you length, if he gives us 7 innings, I will be so stoked about that because that's something he hasn't done all season yet. And again, just keeping it controlled, locating his pitches. I don't want to see any fastballs or sliders hanging over the middle of the plate, which is what he does a lot. He goes for that upper zone, but a lot of time that fastball ends up just kind of hanging over the middle. Got to avoid that. And again, if the lineup was producing, they did, before all these rain delays, they really shouldn't have any issue. Michael Lorenzen's pitching against Scherzer. Again, like that's a pitcher in the lineup that you really shouldn't have an issue against. Milwaukee most recently was his most recent outing, 5 innings, 5 earned runs. He's got a 7 ERA in the season, 0-1. So, I mean, I think he's very hittable, very, very hittable. Bullpen for us is well rested. You have no issue here, doubleheader. Let's bring out the broom. Give me the sweep. Let's go, dude.
Wow. Confidence at its finest.
Yes.
Yeah, so on the Yankees end, and obviously I've kind of already covered most of it, but just kind of summarizing here, with Schmidt going against Bieber, you just want as much as you can get out of Clark. We know it's been a struggle, so maybe, law of averages situation that he's due for something better, and obviously this Cleveland lineup isn't going to be confused for one that's going to lead the league in runs scored. You obviously Jose Ramirez is dangerous, but other than that, I mean, I think he can navigate it. And, of course, sometimes someone jacks one to right field, it's going to get out, but there's not too many guys where you have to worry about him making a mistake that's going to lead to home run. So at least there's a sense of optimism in that regard. So what I'm thinking here is that, he can give us 5 1/3 2 earned, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts. We go to the bullpen, probably run back Wandy and Marinaccio, sprinkle Innie and Hamilton, maybe Marinaccio to close. Let's just give Clay another day here to just kind of mentally get back in it. And then offensively, I could see Rizzo homering. It's been a little bit. I could see Volpe another 2 hits, another 2 steals, active on the base paths. And I think the bullpen will answer the call after Clark. Maybe it's a 2-2 game when he leaves it. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a 5-2 victory for the Yankees. Like I said, Marinaccio picking up the save, Rizzo hitting the homer, Volpe up to 12 steals on the season. And then, a series win for the Yankees, which is nice. They had dropped, I believe, their previous 3 series prior to this, if they are able to come away, with the victory. So I think that's just getting going on the right foot. I could see Bader having a nice game as well here. And then just looking at in terms of, what's next on the agenda after this, they have an off day and then a 3-game set in Tampa over the weekend, which is very important before returning home for 3 with Oakland and then 4 with Tampa. So definitely a crucial stretch here, 7 out of 10 games against the Rays. You're going to need to be at your best. And, I'm expecting them to step up. And, I think sometimes too, going against, higher competition sometimes brings the best out of you. So that's what you have to hope with the Rays. We know it's not going to be easy, but at the end of the day, Tony, we know they can get the job done.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the important part. So that is pick number 1 for me. What do you got for your next?
Man, dude, some tough games here. I guess I'm gonna go. Honestly, we're talking about Baltimore. I'll go with Baltimore here. Either playing Kansas City in Kansas City. You got Kyle Gibson on the mound for Baltimore, who's thrown decently well. 3.93 ERA. He's 4-0 in the season. Looks like he has 27 Ks over 34 1/3 innings pitched. Most recently threw a gem against Detroit, 6 1/3 inning, giving up 1 earned run on just a solo shot homer. Had 11 Ks against them. So you'd imagine something like that, maybe against Kansas City here, who can get into some trouble. I mean, Perez is leading that team, really in every category offensively. Of course, you're about Adley Rutschman too, and what's that dude? Ryan Mountcastle too has been batting really well. On the mound against Zach Greinke, who unfortunately, as much as I enjoy him, 0-4 in the season, a 6.10 ERA. Not producing very well there for Kansas City. So I would say, give me the Orioles here. In a pretty breezy win. They actually beat the Royals yesterday. Yesterday 11-7. So let's run it back. I'm gonna say lower scoring, honestly, on both sides. I would say give me like 7-4. How about that?
Would you take, let's say you need an extra starter, Greinke for a cup of coffee at the deadline or for the Mets?
What are we giving up for him?
Nothing.
Yes, sure. Nothing is great.
I mean, 6.10 ERA. You think he'll be able to settle down a little bit, or
maybe bringing like what Robbie Ray brought to us.
Robbie Ray,
not Robbie Ray. Jesus, why can't I remember his name? Old Buck pitcher, literally pitches like Greinke, like
Rich Hill.
Rich Hill.
Yeah. I can't believe that Greinke's still going. Honestly,
me neither, dude.
Because I think he's 39. And I just wanted to see.
That's ridiculous that he's 39.
Yeah, I remember like him first coming up and struggled to get through 5 innings.
Right.
He's pitched for a lot of teams: Kansas City, Milwaukee, the Angels, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Astros. So
yeah, I remember that when that World Series against the Nationals. I mean, he was like really good.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah.
He came over midseason. Last year though, 157 hits in 137 innings. This year, 39 hits in 31 innings. So very hittable.
Yeah,
very
hittable.
Not good there. Wow. Sarcasm today, Tony.
I mean, that was kind of genuine.
Well, I don't know if we could really consider that genuine. No?
I'm telling you it was.
Don't tell me what I'm doing. Yeah, so obviously another pick here for me.
Yeah, what do you got, dude?
Looking at what we have, there are a couple tempting options. But I think what I'm gonna do is I know I'm just asking for it, but give me the Pirates again. I know that the Rays won yesterday 4-1. We've all seen it by now. But Mitch Keller, Tony, coming off that 10 strikeout performance, 3-0, 3.53, going up against McClanahan. So I think this will be a pitcher's duel. But I could see Keller, keeping this lineup at bay. And I want to say he goes 7 innings, 12 strikeouts, no runs. And I think a Brian Reynolds, top of the 8th, 3-run homer. The difference in this one, 3-0 Pirates. How about that?
Wow. I like that. 3-0 Pirates. I'm a little torn here. I'm either gonna go with the Angels again, Ohtani on the mound against Miles Mikolas, who's not been pitching well this season. But I'm honestly really tempted to take the Phillies against the Dodgers. I know the Dodgers have been so hot. I don't know, dude. It just seemed, dude, Dodgers, third game against the Phillies here. Over the past 2 games against the Phillies, they've scored 26 runs, given up 5.
Wow.
Which is outrageous. Mookie Betts, dude, Freddie Freeman, even who's one of their, I think their left fielder Haywood too has had a hell of a series.
Oh, Jason Hayward.
Yeah, like 33 years old.
He dropped the pop up.
Yeah, dude. Dropped the pop up. Aaron Hicks. They got some no-name Gavin Stone on the mound. You know anything about him?
No.
Hasn't pitched in the major leagues yet. I just feel like Bryce is back for Philly. Take advantage of a youthful pitcher. Brendan Marsh.
On fire.
Give me the Phillies winning this one in a little bit of an upset. Not getting swept by the Dodgers. They win this one. I'm going to keep it tight, 4-2.
Wow.
Let's go, dude.
All right. So for the last pick of the pick selections here, I am going to go, let's see.
Take the Angels, dude. Just do it.
Guaranteed
victory.
I'll go with the Rangers.
Wow.
Heaney has been pitching pretty well.
You like Heaney.
Going up against Fat on Arizona.
Diamondbacks?
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is.
Oh my God. 24 years old. Brendan.
I don't know if I've ever seen a last name spelled like that.
Now, PF, dude. Who would have thought that that's like a real thing? Oh, look, it literally comes up right away, dude. It's so funny.
24 years old.
Normally, it's Fought. Brendan
okay.
Fought.
Yeah. And I believe this is
from Louisville, Kentucky, drafted by the Diamondbacks, 5th round, 2020.
This is his major league debut, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there we go. Yeah, I just feel good about this Rangers lineup. Very deep. So I think they'll knock him around. I think he's probably going to be a good pitcher, but it's just, as Michael would say, it's not his time right now.
Yeah.
So give me the Rangers here.
Dude, 24 hits over 25 and 130.
Let's say 7-3 over the Diamondbacks.
5 home runs, 6 walks.
He's struggling in AAA this year.
30 Ks though over 25 innings.
Not horrible.
Not horrible. But he does give up a lot of hits, it seems.
Oh wow, I almost messed this up. So actually, no, I didn't. Never mind. Stupid question, Tony.
You messed this up, dude?
No, I was just thinking that
Mets
I
twice.
shorted you on picks, but yes, the Mets twice is the extra pick.
A couple of comments here from Prefer, actually, and he agrees with me on the Phillies. Dodgers won 5 in a row, law of averages due for a loss. That's correct. They're not keeping up that ridiculous offense, 26 runs. My prediction for tonight is Braves, Tampa Bay, Phillies. And then he also says DJ LeMahieu, 2 for 4 and 1 home run for Volpe, 4 for 4. Yanks win 10-1.
He knows his name's not spelled like that. He's just having fun with it, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's phonetically, I guess, how it would be
Phonetically?
Yeah,
yeah, that's what this is when you go, yeah, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. All right. So that's what we got for baseball. But like I said, renewed sense of optimism.
Love it.
Going to the Yankee Stadium next week. So hopefully that's kind of good timing where they'll be kind of hitting their stride. But definitely it's going to be a great, to see them play the Rays. And I just think, all right, we got it out of the way, because last year we know it was midsummer where the offensive nightmare happened. And I'm hoping that get this out of the way, smooth sailing from here on out. Volpe at the top, Bader bringing the energy. We saw he was fired up last night. So definitely a renewed sense of optimism. That's for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. Love it. Let's go Mets.
But let's go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Wow.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot.
Big hit on the far side by McCarr. He flattens Jordan's skull. Oh my goodness.
That's the shot right back. Terrifying and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliant from Igor Shesterkin.
It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
All right, this 5 minutes of hockey is brought to you by Downtime TV. All right, Tony. So going through this quickly, we had 2 games last night. Panthers 4-2 over the Maple Leafs. So this dream run for the Panthers continues here as they seize game 1 on the road. Obviously, we know this is the Stanley Cup playoffs. Winning game 1 doesn't guarantee anything, but we all can agree that it's an impressive run that they've been on. Bobrovsky was almost flawless, 34 of 36 in net. They got goals from Cousins, Bennett, Verhaeghe, who had the game winner against Boston, and Brandon Montour, his 6th of the postseason. That's the guy nobody's talking about.
Right.
So I just feel like the key for the Panthers this whole postseason is they're not relying on one guy. Obviously, Chachuk has played well, but the offense is spread out. The defense is playing well, and Bobrovsky is playing his best hockey of the season.
Yeah. Real quick, looking at this game, I mean, the Panthers are doing exactly what they did to the Bruins, honestly, in the first series, which is playing the Maple Leafs very physical. Of course, Toronto, there was big hits on both sides, but you have Florida out hitting Toronto 47-36. Their defense, you mentioned, being led by Montour, who's actually leading offensively, they're actually doing really well, holding Toronto 0 for 4 in the power play last night. On top of that, you mentioned Bobrovsky. He's doing a great job in kind of mixing like old school and new school goaltending, staying on his feet a lot, just to put himself in great position for Toronto, knowing how quick they are, how good they are at making great precision passes, controlling rebounds, taking advantage of rebounds. By him standing up and creating this, that more of a hybrid style of goaltending, it puts him in better positions to control rebounds and to stop level play, stop any momentum Toronto's doing. So if I'm Toronto right now, you have to start playing more physical, and then you guys have to do your best to get to the goaltender here for Florida. That's what you need to do.
And I think they will.
I think
I think it might be a 7-game series, but I think they will come back, have 4 or 5 goals in game 2, even this series up before it heads to Florida. So that'll be interesting. How about the Seattle Kraken last night? 4 goals in the first period en route to a 5-4 overtime victory over the Dallas Stars. So another team on a run here. And if you look at it, Grubauer 31 of 35 in net. So not a bad job there. In terms of the offense, they had goals from Schwartz, from Schultz, from Bjorkstrand, from Eberle, all that in the first, and then nothing the second and third period before Gord had the unassisted game winner, a 5-4 victory. And they did this despite Pavelski having 4 goals, which is very interesting. I would love to see the numbers on a team losing a playoff game, having a player score 4 goals.
Yeah, pretty outrageous. And by the way, I don't know if you knew, but Pavelski is his first game back, had missed the first series due to concussion protocol. Literally first game back, gets 4 goals. Only player in NHL history to do, or maybe the oldest player in NHL history to do that, I believe.
The 4 goals are like returning from it, or
just
the
4 goals.
4 goals. Okay.
Yeah, just having the 4 goals. Absolutely ridiculous on his part. Obviously, it was all for naught because Seattle Kraken ended up winning this, taking the Dallas Stars to OT. Absolutely crazy game. Jay and I were watching it. That first period, it was just, I think there was like 4 goals in the span of 30 seconds. Like, honestly, it was so outrageous. I'm exaggerating. Maybe it was like 60 minutes, 90 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, whatever. But I mean, Seattle again, I was praising the Kraken for doing really what the Panthers did to Boston, to the Avalanche in the first series they were in, which is what they combat speed with physicality. Dallas Stars are a very speedy team, and they're doing that right there. Again, out hitting Dallas, 47 hits to 19. The Kraken are doing a great job of slowing down Dallas, limiting their chances. Dallas has to do just honestly a much better job of defense, in my opinion, because the Kraken, 5 goals. Jake Oettinger is one of the best goalies. I had mentioned, the better goalies that's left here in the playoffs. They have to do a better job of limiting Seattle's chances. The Kraken had 44 shots on goal, and the Stars still had 20 block shots. That means they're getting like over 60 shot attempts here. The Stars have to do better on defense, limiting Seattle just strolling into their offensive zone here. If I'm Dallas, I have to either, beat them with some type of speed, retain the puck better, or start getting physical ourselves, because 19 hits against a Kraken team right now, it was rolling on offense. It's not going to stop anybody.
No. And I think we could be looking at another 7-game series there. That'll be interesting. And we have 2 games once tonight. Both on ESPN. First game, tough, would have been the Rangers time slot here. Devils, Hurricanes from Raleigh, North Carolina. So I'm seeing tickets as low as $67.
Chokery?
Boy, me and Chokery would have went to a game this weekend. Actually, no, I guess we wouldn't have, because then the series would be back in New York when I was there. But if the timing had worked out, would have been great. Of course,
just go anyway. We're for the Hurricanes.
No, but I'm saying they're playing
back in
Wednesday,
Jersey,
and then Friday, and then back Jersey over the weekend. So
that's tough.
Yeah. Anyway, obviously the Hurricanes were able to make do of the Islanders in 6. The Devils, of course, over the Rangers in 7. I kind of think it's going to be another long series. Obviously, we know it's the NHL. It's so unpredictable, and obviously, Carolina seemed like the better team in the regular season before the Svechnikov injury. So it's tough to really get a grasp on it. But I just think it's going to go 7 games, and I guess we'll see over the course of the first 3 to 4 games, who's going to have the upper hand in this one, because it's honestly it feels almost too early for me to really tell.
Yeah, I think it's going to be super tough for both teams here. Again, the Devils have been on such a roll. I would be really interested to see how Carolina attacks them defensively. We know how good of a defense that Carolina has. I don't know, dude. I think it's a huge toss up again. Like, you're not expecting the Devils even to be here, so it's just like, how could I sit here and be like, oh well, like Hurricanes are going to win? On paper, Hurricanes are a better team, I believe. Like pound for pound, talent for talent. But I don't know, dude. The Devils have just been finding ways to win here and finding ways to have sustainable offense, like I really haven't seen all season from anyone else. So, they were really impressive against the Devils. Honestly, my heart tells me that the Devils are going to win game 1, and then Carolina makes necessary adjustments to kind of weed them out a little bit. So that's what I'm going with.
I'm going to say it just came over me. Hurricanes 6. I'm just feeling it. And unfortunately, we gave them a full force demonstration on what not to do against Schmid. So I think they will take advantage of that. What do we have for this comment?
We can throw it up here. This is definitely a nice spam comment. Emma19988 says,
Emma,
thank you for
joining us.
Yeah. If you could choose any celebrity to see get tickled, who would it be, Brian?
Prefer
is our celebrity. I love that.
He's a celebrity on this show.
He really is a celebrity. He's number 1.
So yeah, I think the Hurricanes can learn from the Rangers' mistake and take advantage of this one. We do have breaking news.
Actually?
Yeah. You're gonna love this one.
Jackson Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes' brother, Jackson, has been arrested and faces aggravated sexual battery charges. So that just coming in from ESPN. I know Prefer is all over the backstory. Emma saying Justin Bieber she wants to tickle. I don't know what that's all about, but
I don't think Emma is a real person.
Anything on Mahomes. Give us 5 minutes. Go.
5 minutes on Jackson or
Jackson.
Jackson. Honestly, you never wish any harm on anybody. I feel really sorry for the woman. I think there was like video footage too of it at a bar or whatever. I just saw like a little screenshot of it. And I don't want to assume anyone's guilty yet, but we obviously know like the fucking idiocracy that is Jackson Mahomes and what he does. I don't want to say, he had something like this coming to himself just by the way he was acting. And again, you never wish anything happens like this happens to anybody who like is a victim of this, because it's really horrible. But what a piece of shit Jackson Mahomes is. You know how I feel about him. If he is guilty here, which again I haven't looked into it, I really hope he faces some jail time, because that's kind of ridiculous that he feels that he can have the right to do something like that because he's popular on TikTok or he's Patty Mahomes' brother or whatever. The ego, the ridiculousness, and I hope this really brings it back down to earth.
Yeah. And I think the whole thing we've seen from incidences, videos, there's a lack of control. So you would think he needs to get that together.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So other game here, Oilers versus Golden Knights.
Give it to me straight here, Brian.
Giving it to you straight, Oilers in 5. I just think McDavid, Draisaitl, I think they're ready to go. And I think there's an avenue that has been opened, especially with Colorado losing. So what they did to the Oilers last year, they win this series, they're going to the Stanley Cup Finals. Guarantee it.
Really, dude.
What do you think?
I'm thinking Knights in 4, baby. Bring out the broom. Here we go. Edmonton Oilers does not even have a real goaltender as far as I'm concerned in net. I think the Knights, who are on a roll, who I said honestly is my favorite to really take the cup at this point. I think they really deserve it. A phenomenal team. They have a great goaltender, Logan Thompson. I think they absolutely dismantle what are the Edmonton Oilers. Regardless, I mean, we know Edmonton's talented. They can score. I think Vegas outscores them in every game here. Give me the sweep. Let's go Vegas, baby.
Let's go. So as I would say, Tony, if you could mentally take yourself to the golf course, we have the Wells Fargo Championship beginning tomorrow. This is at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Nice.
Definitely a popular, storied course. And I guess it was a President's Cup, I believe, was played there a couple years ago. Anyway, you look at this event, not everybody in the field, but considering the fields that we've had the last couple of weeks, a decently strong one. So just to give you an idea of who is here, we have JT, Tommy Fleetwood, Sunjay Im, as well as Jason Day, Max Homa, Xander Schauffele, Roy McIlroy, Victor Hovland, Jordan Spieth, Patrick Cantlay, Matt Fitzpatrick, last week's winner, Tony Finau, Michael Sky, Ricky Fowler, Tom Kim, Sam Burns, Colin Morikawa, Keith Mitchell, and Cameron Young. So I feel like a pretty solid field considering, it's not, one of those elevated events. Of course, Scheffler and Rahm not playing in this tournament. But I think, there are some big names. I love this course. And I know Rory won here a couple years back. And I just wanted to see too what we had in terms of the last couple of years with winners of this. So I'm just
say Homa won last year, right?
Max Homa did win last year. And like I said, I want to say it was 2 years ago Rory won. So let's see what we got. So it's Homa last year. Yeah, Rory in 2021, canceled in 2020. Homa again, 2019. So
wow.
We're talking about Homa winning in California. Looks like North Carolina is a nice state for him as well. Jason Day back in 2018, Harmon in 2017, Hahn in 2016, Rory, his second in 2015, JB Holmes 2014, Rory also won in 2010. So a 3-time winner here for Rory McIlroy. So a lot of, different places to go. Interesting Rory being back in the field, after he pulled out, after missing the cut at the Masters for the next week's tournament, I guess, which was at RBC. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays after a little rest here. There's a lot of big names. There's guys who have won this tournament before. I mean, I have to ask you, Tony. I mean, how do you pick a winner out of this group?
I know, super tough, dude. Are you asking me who is my pick right now?
Kind of both.
Kind of both.
Saying, how do you get there, and then what is your choice?
Well, I think it takes I was just a little bit of research to get there. Based on what I've seen, I'm gonna go with Victor Hovland, actually. 25-year-old, making a little bit of splash here on the tour, coming off of kind of a rough week, I think at RBC. I forget where he finished, but he only finished at the top 25 this season 3 times. I think he was top 10 at the Players. I know he tied for 7th at the Masters, and he was actually a guy who I was kind of ridiculing at the Masters, because watching him, he had some great drives, some really solid iron work, great chips onto the green, but I feel like a lot of putts he was just fumbling up. And he ended up tying for 7th, even though, again, he started making his putts. He could have been, more in the running for top 3 here. And I'm kind of expecting him, honestly, to have great putts, here at Wells Fargo. So I just think he's going to come out here, finally fine-tuning his game this season. The young buck on tour here. Give me a Hovland. Let's go, baby.
Yeah. And it just feels like, and I know obviously this isn't a major championship or anything, but it does feel like he's due to break through.
Yeah.
The talent's there, the youth. He just has such good fundamentals. And I think, those are the type of guys that we see, perform on tour well. I'm gonna go with that. Me, I love the comeback story, the redemption story, and I love that of Jason Day this season. Really was like to the point where you were thinking, is he possibly gonna lose like his PGA Tour card? But if you look at starting from let's say the Farmers back on the 28th of January. 7th there, 5th at the Waste Management, 9th at the Genesis, 10th at the Arnold Palmer, 19th at the Players, 5th at Match Play. Ended up finishing tied 39th at the Masters, but was a lot higher up before shooting a final round 80. So this is his first tournament since then. This is a place that he won back in 2017.
Right.
And it's just been so long since we've seen Jason Day in the winner's circle. We think about Chris Kirk, who returned to the winner's circle for the first time, I want to say in like 10 years or 8 years, whatever it was, earlier this year at John Deere. So I think we're going to see a similar thing here with Jason Day. His last win, coincidentally enough, was the Wells Fargo Championship in 2017. So 6 years ago.
That was his last win.
And he has a career earnings of $54 million. So still doing something right. Obviously makes a lot of cuts, but due to breakthrough for a win. And there's not a better place for him to do that than at Quail Hollow.
Right here, right now.
He's won before.
Yeah.
So coverage getting underway tomorrow. Definitely excited about that. With the remaining couple minutes, if we could go quickly to the world of the National Basketball Association.
Oh my God.
The Bulls go. LeBron James at the buzzer.
All right. Short, sweet, bringing it to you hot. Only one game tonight, 2 games last night. First one, the New York Knicks evening up this series at 1 game apiece with the Miami Heat here. A game that they struggled midway through, came on strong in the 4th quarter, outscoring the Heat 35-28. Julius Randle with a strong game, 25 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. So pretty impressive stuff out of Randle, who had been overcoming some injuries. You look at the rest of the team. Brunson, another great game, 30 points, 5 rebounds, 6 3-pointers. Knicks as a team, 16 of 40 from 3-point range. So really firing on all cylinders. How about RJ Barrett? Really has been coming on lately. 5 of 9 from 3-point range. And then you look at Hartenstein, had a big, 9 rebounds, had a block. I think he was important defensively in this game, kind of keeping the Heat at bay. As far as Miami, I think the big thing here without Jimmy Butler, you're really kind of setting yourself back, and it just completely changes the complexion of this game. I mean, Martin led them with 22, Vincent had 21, Bio had 15, but they are just not the same team without Jimmy Butler. And I know only a 6-point game, but I think that played a big part in the reason why the Knicks were able to win. Obviously, we're expecting Butler back later in the series, so be interesting to see what difference he makes, and if Miami returning home, if they're able to take that 2-1 lead when they resume play in probably 2 weeks. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that one.
Yes.
The Lakers, Game 1 victors over the Warriors, 117-112. Anthony Davis has been absolutely on fire lately. He had a 20 and 10 at the half, ended up finishing with 30 points, 23 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks, made all 8 of his free throws, 11 of 19 from the floor, played 44 minutes. It's really led the way for the Lakers. LeBron added 22 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. And you also had D'Angelo Russell, who came off a career high 31 points his last playoff game, 19 points, 6 assists. And then you add Schroeder, 19 off the bench, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. So really performing well there. And all of that adds up to a 117-112 win. And I think it's impressive. It just shows their dominance in the paint. Anytime you can win a road playoff game where you shoot 6 of 25 from three-point range, a game where the Warriors shot 21 of 53 from three-point range, almost 40%. I thought that was really impressive. And, to keep Curry to 27, he missed 14 shots. Coming off a 50-point game, I thought that was impressive. And that's why I think the Lakers are going to win this series. And it starts with winning game 1 on the road. I think that's huge. I really do expect them maybe to win this game in 5 or 6 games due to the Warriors' struggle on the road, the dominance of AD. I just don't think they have an answer for him. The one game tonight between the Celtics and the 76ers, Embiid was just named the MVP yesterday. A job well done for him. I'm sure Michael was excited about that. Boston 7.5-point favorites here. So I would imagine by that they are still anticipating that he will miss this game. But I wanted to I guess they're saying game time decision. I just want to see if there's an update there. Obviously they were able to take game 1. It said he's on track to return to the lineup. So with him in the lineup, I think this is problematic for Boston. They lost without him in the lineup. Now he's in the lineup. He just got announced MVP. He's fired up. He's ready to go. So give me Sixers again. I'm going to say a close game, just like game 1. But Embiid will go for 40 and 20 in his first game as the MVP. And I'm going to say Sixers in this one, 104 to 101 to take a 2-0 lead back to Philadelphia. And other than that, Tony, other than playing the Craig O, give him a shot at 1. Anything else you wanted to add here? It's a tough bite to get. Maybe give Craig O a shot at 1 o'clock.
That's all I got, dude.
Really?
It's Craig O at noon, by the way. Oh, the one day we do it, it's him at 1 o'clock.
I know.
So
but
funny.
There's another time where I'll say, maybe give Craig O a shot at 12. That's going to come at some point. But really, what a show today. I feel like we covered so much, and obviously vibes are high. We got the Wells Fargo starting tomorrow, Mets back in action, Yankees back in the winner's circle, Lakers taking game 1. If only the Devils weren't playing the Hurricanes, and if it was the Rangers, it would be a perfect 10, Tony. But we really appreciate everybody tuning in as Tony's speechless, and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe, checking out all the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee in costume, all the episodes of the Sports Port, of The Dream is Free, of Screen Time, of Gaming Corner, of all the vlogs. So you definitely want to check that out, as well as the spring collection, downtimetv.com. Spring is in the air. We want everybody to enjoy their day. Let's go Yankees. Tony's saying let's go Mets. He wants
Twice
to take
sweep.
the sweep of the doubleheader.
Yes.
And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.